Paint a picture for us. I mean, how did you, for instance, integrate with your district that you represent? In case they wanted something done, how do you meet with them and agree on something, and then you take it back to the Senate? How does that work?
Absolutely. And let me tell you, you always have to involve the grassroots folks. If you really want to know what's going on, what the issues are, how they're being impacted, you start with the grassroots folks. And you build coalitions, and you bring them all to the table. You know, you bring the educational folks, you bring the business folks, you bring the political leaders. You know, you bring the civic leaders, the leaders of the community, and we all sit to the table and we discuss the issues. And you let them have input from the ground level.
For how often do you do that?
Well, you know, we do that quite often. You know, we're very, very active in our district. You know, I've served in the South Carolina Senate for the past 7 years. I'm in my second term. I have one more year in my second term. And you know, let me tell you, it's about communication. It's about keeping that line, that dialogue open, that line of communication, because people will let you know how they feel. They will tell you. I mean, it's uncensored. I mean, when you're dealing with the grassroots folks. And so you build those coalitions. And you know, as I always tell my constituents, I'm their voice and their eyes in the General Assembly. I'm not there to represent myself. I'm there to represent them. And so I like getting input from them. And then we put all that together, and we determine the needs, and we come up with a plan of action and strategies to implement that plan. And then I take it back to my colleagues in the General Assembly and say, this is what we got to do. This is how we got to improve the quality of life of our citizens. And you know, we've had some success, and it's a real challenge because the economy has changed so much in terms of, you know, the top jobs that are out there anymore. In the community that I represent, or the district, you know, we used to be basically an agricultural community and a textile community. And that has since changed because we've lost a lot of jobs, have gone overseas, you know, because of the cheaper labor and so forth. So what we're having to do now is retrain our workforce. And it's a real challenge because, you know, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when we had people graduating from high school, you know, they had so many choices in terms of employment. You know, so many different textiles, agriculture. I mean, there was jobs galore.
Well, anyway, Senator Williams, a quick one here. You go back to the States tonight, and as you go back, what exactly do you think you can take to your constituents and say, these are some of the areas you can possibly invest in Nigeria? You talk about the film industry, which you say is underutilized. Do you think is a place for investment, potential for some of your Americans?
Oh, absolutely. I think there's a lot of potential there. Of course, it's, you know, and the term we like to use back in the States, and especially in my district, what we look for are the 3 Ps: public, private, partnership. That is essential. That is very, very important. That is key. And you know, that private partnership, I would use Del York as an example. Then there you have the public partnership. Obviously has to be the government. I think the government has to create an environment, a holistic environment for this business, this industry to explore. And then, you know, you're talking about stimulating your economy. You talk about high unemployment. You know, we talk about high unemployment back in the States, and this is what it's all about: creating opportunities for your people. And this, I mean, and you're not just talking about creating jobs in this industry here. You're also talking about creating careers, sustainable careers, which is what you really, really want. You're talking about And when I attended the gala the other night, and I saw all the talent that was displayed there and how they put together these commercials and these movies in such a short period of time, and I think this just the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. So I think, you know, you can create engineers, you can script writers, directors, producers, and, you know, the list goes on and on and on. And you're talking about good paying jobs where, you know, people can really provide for their families. So, and I think, you know, when you got to create that environment, that business environment, and I think it's incumbent upon the partnership to do that, the government, and there's a lot of benefit that I think the government can reap in terms of doing this, because you always have the taxes that you can tax the industry and generate revenue for the Nigerians here, for the government.